Everyone, thank you so much for joining this next installment of Gung Ho Bookings interview series. I am here with the wonderful, the beautiful Zelda Khan Black, who is a star of the latest series from Glitch Productions, Knights of Guinevere, created by Dana Terrace, John Bailey Owen, and Zach Marcus. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Zelda.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, anytime. We're here at Geeky Teas in Los Angeles, California, so thank you for hosting us. I really want to start right at the beginning, so why don't you tell us a bit about where you're from and what your parents do for a living?
It all started when I was born. I'm from a place in upstate New York. I mean, people usually don't really know where it is because it's so small, so I'm just going to say Albany because that's really where like the universal area. So like just a little bit outside of Albany. My mom is a medical coder. Don't ask me about that because I don't know what that means. My dad used to be a chef and now he's working in construction. Don't ask me about it because it's a new job and I don't know what it entails. So okay. They don't come from any acting background. Okay. So, but my mom she can do like impressions and she can sing and draw. So she has artistic talent, but yeah, none of them really came from any artsy background.
Okay. And did your dad impart some of that chef knowledge onto you? No?
Nah, I think I had ramen before I came here. So, I mean, he was cooking, so why would I have to learn? And then I unexpectedly left for Los Angeles to live, and I was like, I'm on my own. I'm hungry, so.
Got to figure it out.
Been scrounging ever since, yeah.
Did your dad have like a meal that he cooked for you that you were like, this is the best?
A staple meal? I don't think so. I think
everything was good.
One of the most unique things that was like, he has like chips with ketchup, like Lay's with ketchup. And I'm like, that's weird. But it's actually not that bad. So, try it sometime.
Okay. I think they one of those like flavors that they release for like special edition or something.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I also forgot to literally mention that they own a business.
Oh.
They have sauces. So they run a sauce business.
They run a sauce business.
Literally the staple part of my child. I'm like, I don't know what I know. I'm like, yeah. So there's that.
What kind of sauces? Like just anything? Or?
Marinade, chutney, vinaigrette, Bloody Mary sauce, which goes great as a pizza sauce.
A Bloody Mary sauce?
Yeah.
So not a Bloody Mary mix?
It's a Bloody Mary mix, but like I like to use as pizza sauce because it can kind of double and it's great.
Okay, you heard it here first. Wow, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
So growing up in upstate New York, did you always know that you wanted to be an actor? And was like a focus on voice performance? Did that ever factor in? Or
No, never. No. I remember, I don't know if anybody remembers the movie Victor Victoria. It's with Julie Andrews.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So in the beginning scene, Julie Andrews, an actress, she's comes out of like a failed audition and she's just like roaming the streets hungry. And I remember kid me being like, yeah, Julie Andrews, that's what you get for not getting a stable job.
Damn.
Kid me had no expectations and no thought. It was like, I'm going to college. I'm going to get a good job, 9 to 5. And here we are. So yeah, no thought whatsoever.
Okay. Was voice performance... Has that kind of always been on the docket, or did it start somewhere else?
And it was like a little party trick that I could do because I used to, as elementary school, I used to play with these erasers, like literally just eraser caps. It's the only thing I really play with, and they would all have little voices.
Eraser caps?
Yeah. Wait. You know, like a pencil, you can get like the eraser cap, like a little eraser cap thingy. You know, like with number 2 pencil, like a little thing you put on there.
Oh, like a literal eraser that you put in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would I literally just put smiley faces on and be like, all right, this is Esther, this is Bert, this is, and then they would all have voices. And they were like, oh my God, that's so funny. Little kid over there playing with the eraser caps.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. So I would love to see a remount of your eraser.
I should revive them. Yeah, I should. Glitch, you want to pick up another show?
That's amazing. That's awesome. Where did the voice acting come from? The impressions? Was it just kind of a natural progression, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was I was kind of dipping my toe into the arts because I'm like, okay, maybe I could do something else. I want to do screenwriting, and then I did get accepted into college for screenwriting, and I was like, no, thank you, never mind, sorry. And I was like, I don't really know what I want to do, and this is when I'm talking about this, it's like I'm in community college right now, but I was applying for other colleges, so I was in my first year of college, and I was like, you know what? I don't know what I want to do. I feel like I need to slow my roll before I accept this. So I didn't accept the position at the college for the screenwriting program. I was like, okay, I'm going to go work at Disney. So I worked at Disney. I was like, you know what? I'm never going to leave. And when I worked there, I did the Disney college program. So I was in parking first, but I couldn't drive the trams and I didn't want to. And then
Those are big trams. You were in Florida too, right?
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, you have to have a special license to operate, you know, like the vehicles that take the luggage to the plane.
Okay.
You know, like if you were to drive that, you would need a specialized license. You don't need a specialized license when you're driving that. And it's a huge tram. And they were like, hey, you know, if you do something, an accident, you know, if somebody tries to sue you, we're not going to help you. You're on your own. I had to learn defense against turkeys. So I was like, I'm out.
Okay, wait, hold on. Sorry. We have to back up a little bit. You had to learn defense against turkeys? What was the turkey defense training regimen like?
I don't know, because I bounced. I was like, all right, listen, all this, and I have to fight a turkey, because I guess, you know, when you could be the people that are just, you know, like doing the thing of like, all right, go here, go here, go here, like pointing in the blazing hot parking lot, because it's the biggest lot. It was the Magic Kingdom lot for reference. So it is like the biggest one. I think it's the size of Disneyland. Or you could be the people that go up, stop, or you could be patrolling out there.
That was really good. I thought you could be really good at that. That was really
I was good at that.
Yeah.
I almost got run over every day. That's why I have no fear of cars. So, but when you were out there in the field, you know, like waiting for people, like the first people that you see when you say, go over here, I guess there's turkeys out in the lot. And I guess the turkeys sometimes get mad. And then you have to learn how to defend yourself, because you can't just like, oh my God, I have to quickly run in a building. You're all the way out there. So
as soon as they were like, you have to learn to defend yourself against
like,
turkeys, you're like, you know what? I think I'm good.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm like, all of this, and I have to fight a turkey? No. So
okay,
I went to Pecos Bill next. It was like, hey, guys. I'm like,
what's Pecos Bill?
Pecos Bill's like...
For those of us who are only California, Disneyland.
It's like Disney's Taco Bell.
True Blues.
You know? They have like a taco stand and all that stuff. Yeah, it's a Mexican restaurant. And they were like, all right, we'll put you inside the park and we'll put you in Pecos Bill. I'm like, okay, great. So I was there until the pandemic hit. And we were like, you know, only have 2 weeks off. And then they corralled us in this little room like sheep. And they were like, go home. Like, what? Go home? Okay. Us, including the international people, only had like, I don't know, a little less than a month to get all your stuff and go. When I had finally gotten home, I worked at a restaurant prior, and, you know, the restaurant wasn't like, it didn't need anybody. So I'm like, all right, I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay, kind of feels like the end of the world. I don't have a job. I'm going to download TikTok.
As so many of us did during the pandemic. So I think the TikTok's user base like skyrocketed during the pandemic.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I did that, and I started doing like little cosplays and stuff, and then the cosplays led to voice impressions. And then during that time, there was online Comic-Con, and I was in like an Azula phase. So
Azula from
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Of course.
Yeah, for those who don't know. I was like such a Katara girl, and everybody was like, no, you have to get an Azula cosplay. I'm like, but I don't want to be Azula. And I was like, oh, you know what? I do like Azula. So
Azula's cool. She's got a cool character arc.
Yeah.
And she is, I think she is pretty sympathetic at the end, but I love Katara too.
Yeah, me too. I was kind of Katara girl. But anyways, you know, Azula was in the cards for me. So I kind of started getting trending and all that stuff with the Azula impressions. And then I met Gray Delisle, who's the voice actor of Azula, at a few online Comic-Cons. Then we just started chatting up, and she's like, no, I've seen your stuff. You're like, actually, you know, like, you're good. You should kind of consider this as like a thing if you want to. Like, okay, Gray, like if Gray Delisle says that, I mean, I'll give it a go. So I did online courses and stuff like that. And then eventually Gray was like, you should visit me. I'm like, I'll do that. So I visited.
When Azula says you should come to LA, you can't say no.
I'm hauling ass. I'm already there. So, and then she ended up helping me get like a really decent spot in Los Angeles. So, it kind of happened like I went home, and then she's like, hey, there's an opportunity. Do you want to take it? I'm like, oh, I just got back. Okay. So yeah, I had like a month after that to like get everything. I had no finances prepared and everything because I wasn't planning for it, but you know, just went with it. So, I went there, met some of the Owl House people because I started doing Owl House content, met Dana by association, and here we are.
And here we are. Wow. That's what a journey to LA. I love hearing about different actors, different journeys to LA and how they end up where they are, because everybody has such
Everybody's
a
different. And that's what stressed me out. Like the fact that I can't go to college. I felt like there was like no one way to be like, okay, do this, do this. It's like everybody's story was different, which stressed me out.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So you weren't like the chaotic gremlins who were like, you can make your own way and
I'm
let's
like,
go for it. You were just like, no, I really love a path.
Yeah. I'm like, but I can't afford like theater college or something like that. Just tell me what to do. So,
but that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So you arrived in LA and you already had a network that's huge. Would you say that having those connections really like made the biggest difference?
Oh yeah.
In how your career evolved?
Oh yeah. I feel like if I didn't have that, I'd probably be here way later or maybe not. So
Yeah.
Okay,
so then you arrive in LA. So then eventually at some point you do get this game called Genshin Impact. How can you walk us through that process and how that
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really unique to that story. Just got it through my agent.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, basically like, my agent texted me like, hey, I pitched you for this and you got it. I'm like, wow, cool. I'm going to be in Genshin. So it's a boring story.
When you got it, did you know like the, pardon the pun, impact that the game...
I can't slap my knee.
Sorry.
So...
That the game has, or how many?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, 100%. Because like I had tried to play Genshin at one point, but everybody knows if you know me, I pick up games and I put them down and then I never touch them. But I tried with Genshin because some of my friends are in Genshin.
Sure.
So I was like, yeah, it was pretty cool to be in a game that I at least tried. I'll never make it to 5.7 with Dear Death. I'll never make it that far. I've already put it down. But
how's Mass Effect going, by the way?
Okay. Okay. So Mass Effect, I had to start at 2, and people are giving me shit for starting at 2 because one
who's
was
giving
low.
you? No, guy. Everybody needs to chill out. It's perfectly fine to start at 2.
Yeah. See, one
you can't even
load.
romance Garrison 1. Okay.
One wouldn't load. Okay. So because I got
you
on
play
a Steam Deck. Yeah, I got on Steam Deck. One wouldn't load. Okay. And you know who you are out there.
Justifying it.
I'm so passionate because everybody's like, "Oh, you gotta do this. You gotta follow the book. Because I gotta do this." I'm like, guys, I don't know.
You can start at 2. It's fine.
So Mass Effect's going not great. I haven't touched it in like a month. I can't remember where I left off. I found Jack. That's all I remember.
Well, Jack being honestly like the most important character in 2. So
shout out to Courtney Taylor.
So you worked on Genshin. Was it exciting after you were finished with your Genshin with your time on Genshin? Was it exciting to move on from characters who have died, or do you really enjoy the finality of that?
I kind of like going in not knowing what I'm going to do, because you really don't. Like, I don't get, sometimes I do get the script ahead of time, but it all depends on like where their pacing is and like with the translation and everything. So sometimes I do, like I did know going in that I was going to do Dear Death like a few days prior, so I got to look at the script. But there are some times where I just go in, I'm like, all right, what am I doing? One thing that I haven't really, because I still, like, Deardith and Bennett's mom are, like, the most notable ones that I talk about, but I'm usually in there for, like, quite a few updates. Like, they'd asked me one time, like, what's your age range? I'm like, okay, here's what I can play. And then I go in, they're like, you're doing a creature. I'm like, So I'm like this, like, it was a 6.3 or 2. I'm like the purple flame monster head thingies where you need Flynns to unlock it.
Okay.
Like unlock the dialogue. So it's kind of cool. Not knowing what I'm gonna do.
That's exciting.
Or who I'm gonna be. Yeah.
So is that usually typical when you go into a voice booth that you might not really know
in games? Yeah. It can be very I mean, knowing what you're doing. Yeah. Usually,
or I guess not knowing what you're gonna say.
Not knowing what you're gonna say. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's why people like to hammer in, especially if you want to do games, like your ability to cold read and just act on the spot.
Sure.
So yeah, games usually like that, but animation.
It's good for theater too, just to help. I don't know about film.
I think it's a
I think it's a good skill for any
anything.
Type of. Well, this is exciting. So first of all, before we totally move on to the Knights of Guinevere questions, I do have a little friend that I brought with me.
Yay!
Our wonderful Andy.
Yay!
So this is your character in. You can hold. So that's your character in Knights of Guinevere, Andy, the disgruntled Park Planet employee. She can just
you're doing
just
great.
hold her. There we go. So now that COG has been greenlit, very exciting. Is there anything that you hope fans will take away from Andy as a character, or like look or find within Andy?
Watch and learn.
Well, sure.
That doesn't
course.
really make sense, but
No, watch the show.
yeah,
That
watch
makes
and
sense.
learn. You know,
Yeah.
I know stuff you don't now. Everybody would come up to me and be like, do you know? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't even know we were getting new merch. Like, I know as much as you do, but now I know more than you, so.
I think Andy is such an interesting and lovely character. And I know that I definitely saw a bit of myself of just being like stressed.
Yeah.
It definitely reminded me of my own time working at Disney. I was also in the college program. I almost used my other name for it. I was also in the college program. And so, yeah, just that kind of another day, another dollar kind of attitude.
Oh, yeah. And that's, I mean, it took me a while to realize how similar I am to Andy, because I was like freaking out at first. And I was like, why Dana pick me? I don't even know what's going on. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how to connect with her. And somebody, like, I went to a close friend and, like, we went through the script and she's like, it's you. And I'm like, oh. Yeah. Like, I also love the dynamic between, I feel like we all start off as Frankie and then we turn into Andy. So I feel like, I don't know, I don't know too much more than you guys, but like, I'm curious to see how that dynamic is going to progress. As you know, like Frankie really wants to work in the park and Andy sees the realities of it. So like, what are the realities of it? And is Frankie ever going to wake up, or is she still going to be, you know, dreaming with her space cat friend? So.
Right. Yeah. There's an interesting moment in the pilot where Andy is working on a piece, on a head of something from the park.
Yeah.
And she's really having trouble figuring that out because it's broken. And then Frankie says something. I can't remember the exact line, but she says something like, yeah, why would they do it this way? They should have done it this way.
Oh, yeah.
And then Andy like goes back to the computer, types something in, and then all of a sudden the head works again. So how much do you think is Andy, how much do you think of Andy's job is Andy? And then how much do you think of it is maybe Frankie on the side helping as a friend, and maybe not even knowing. Not to say that Andy doesn't deserve the job in the park, because of course she does, but like
I think that's a good point, because I think it's almost kind of like, to me, when you go, I mean, I've thought about this, and it kind of goes in so many different ways of like, I think Andy does know things, but I think Frankie just has that unique touch to think outside of the box that could expand. But then that makes you think, like, why isn't Frankie able to work in the park? And why did Andy get to work in the park? You know, like, what about their backgrounds? Like, why can't she? And why is Andy? So
sure.
These theorists, like, I used to watch the theories and stuff, but then my brain hurt and I stopped watching them because I'm like, I don't know, you guys. I literally don't know. So
I know. And folks, like, I'll be online and I'll read stuff and they'll say something and it'll be picking up something that happened in the show that I had no idea. But obviously it's there because it was animated and it was put in. So you're like,
yeah, and they do that stuff. They have that brain where they hide all the things. I'm like, listen, I didn't even know that Andy, hold up, weird, okay. I was watching, I was like, I didn't know she had a rip in her dress. Like, she's got a rip in her dress here. I'm like, why does she have a rip in her dress? And then I looked in the plushie, I'm like, oh, she's got a rip in her dress.
She has a rip in her dress.
I'm like, what happened there? So I'm not very observant.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know that I'm really excited for more of Knights of Guinevere, and I know that I'm sure that everybody watching this is also going to be excited. And if you have no idea what we're talking about, you need to go to Glitch Productions YouTube channel and watch the pilot of Knights of Guinevere right now. It's amazing. Pause this, go watch that, and come back.
Wait, finish this talking, and then go watch it.
Oh, okay. Listen to either of us. I don't know. Well, you've also started to do the convention circuit. You started going around. Your most recent one was
CamiCon.
CamiCon. We were both there.
I was like going back. Yeah. KamiCon.
How was that?
KamiCon was great. That was fun. I got to be with Selena, and then I got to be with my friends Diego and Emilio, and then I got to hang out with Dana and the crew. So,
and like pretty much everybody was there. It was Eden, who plays Guinevere, Michaela, who plays Frankie, and Erin Nicole Lundquist, who plays old Olivia and Space Cat. Nice. Yeah. Amazing. That's so great. What makes those conventions and those appearances and those events so like special and unique for you? And was there something when going into those that you were like, wow, this is a total surprise. I had no idea that this was going to be a part of it.
I feel like there's very little surprises now because I came from the behind the scenes approach first because I used to work for Gung Ho as an agent. Known Andrew for quite a while. So I've been in the agent section before, like behind the scenes. So most of my con experience has already just been for work. Like I didn't really go to cons before that as like somebody who's like an attendee. And I went as an attendee once, and I feel like so spoiled because I'm like in line. I'm like, oh my God, I have to wait in line? Am I gonna have to buy a ticket?
You're like, where's my backstage area?
Honestly, that experience has been more eye-opening than being a talent because like it just even shows even more appreciation for the fact that you guys are standing out in line, the fact that you guys are paying to be here, the fact that, like you're coming here and you're spending your time, you're spending your money. Like, I don't care if you buy nothing. If you come in and say hi at the booth, I am more than happy to have a conversation with you and never feel like, oh, I can't say hi if I don't buy anything, And that's what I like about us as a group, like we're not pretentious. We're just like nice, grounded people that appreciate everybody coming up. And it was weird at first to be in the other section because I like to get up and move around, check to see if everybody's okay and then like do the agent stuff. So it was like, oh, I have to sit. Okay.
Yeah, you have to stay at your table.
Yeah.
And other people have to help you if you need help.
Yeah. So it was weird, but I don't know if anything very much surprised me as opposed to when I was an attendee.
Gotcha. I know I felt that way after I left working at Disneyland and I went to Disneyland as a regular attendee and I was like, this is bananas.
This is awful. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And do you have any convention appearances upcoming?
Yes, I do. MomoCon is the next one in May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May. And tickets are still on sale. So you can go to the link in our bio and get your passes for MomoCon, where you can meet Zelda. You can meet the rest of the cast of Knights of Guinevere that are represented by Gung Ho, and plenty of other people. I know we've got a ton of folks going to MomoCon. It's going to be a big old party. So, if you're able to come to Atlanta in May, be sure to join us there. So, going back to chatting a bit about Andy and Knights of Guinevere, how did that audition process go? You said you knew Dana, and so, walk us through how that went.
Yeah, so Sarah Nicole Robles, the voice of Luce, would host, this thing called the Post Hoot, which was where she pretty much interviewed a bunch of people in the Owl House. And what I really loved about it is that she interviewed everybody, like whether you were a storyboard artist or an actor or like if you had your hand in any aspect of the Owl House, you got a chance to be interviewed and talk about your story, which I was like, this is really cool because, awesome. I feel like now, since the pandemic, it's a little bit easier to find out, like, interviews with a voice actor, but a storyboard artist or, like, background design or animation, anything like that, it was a little bit more scarce at the time then. So having, people having a chance to learn about that. But anyways, she would host them, and then I would be, like, behind the camera just pressing the live button and stopping it. So
wait, you were, like, running those interviews? Wait, how did that go?
I wasn't necessarily running. I was literally like Rebecca, Sissy, and Sarah were like the hosts, like that would answer, that would interview and all that stuff.
Okay.
Sometimes I would just go over there, literally just like help set up, press the live button, they would start and then stop it.
How did you end up in that room doing that?
So I did these little dubs of the Owl House, like dirty dubs, like if the Owl House was...
dirty dubs?
Yeah, like if the Owl House was like on Adult Swim or something like that, I just made it, where they were swearing and insulting each other, and it was like 18 plus humor.
Anything off the dome? Anything come to mind?
Lilith called Ida a bleached hooker.
Damn.
Yeah, I think that was like one of the first ones that went viral. It was like Lilith when she was signing the thing in one of the episodes. She's like, well, you look like a bleached hooker or something like that. But anyways, you can go check them out on my YouTube channel. Sissy Jones, voice of Lilith, found them particularly funny. So when I moved here, we became friends, and then she introduced me to Sarah, and then we became friends, and then Avi, and then I just kind of met everybody. And then they were like, well, if you want to come hang out, we have this going on. And Dana was there for like one or two of them. So she was just there, and I was like, just Dana Terrace. So it was like, oh man, so cool. And I hope I was. Obviously, it was cool enough because she wanted to spend more time with me. But we kind of had briefly met through there. And then there was another job where I was working at where it was like also in like the entertainment scene. So I would often like have to go and like pick up stuff, or like we would cross paths often, and I would be complaining about my job because I was a lot like Andy in the sense where it's like the pack mule, everybody's relying on her to be the janitor to clean up, and I remember once I was like ranting about, I was like, I'm like, okay, so how are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm just, doing good. I'm working on something. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So little did I know. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, with her wanting me to be Andy, but, that's how we kind of knew each other prior. And
maybe that was the inspiration for Andy's yelling.
Yeah. Because, like, we're all in the character stuff where she was like, by the computer with all them, like, that's me. That's me. And I love horror movies, too. So that's kind of how we knew each other. And I was literally, like, on my way out of the industry. I had sold my Sennheiser 416. For those of you that know, that's a pretty good microphone.
Really nice microphone.
I literally sold that. I was like, if I don't sell this, I literally don't have rent next month. So I was like, I'm out. I'm done. And I had started, like, I was like halfway done with selling all my stuff. And then I get this thing from Jasmine from Glitch. And I had only recently heard about Glitch through my job in the entertainment scene. People would talk about Glitch. I'm like, who? What? What's glitching? So, and I learned about VTubers and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, I know Glitch is a good thing. Glitch is like a really good company. It'd be really cool to do something. I'm like, all right. It was a recommendation. Like, they were like, somebody, we have this thing, upcoming project. We'd like you to audition. I was like, cool. So I looked through, and there was like all these characters, and I auditioned for everyone but Andy. You
just didn't want to, or
you just
skipped it?
By accident. It's like I didn't see her. And I remember Dana being like, you went through all of them, but the one that I wanted. And then Jasmine like replied back. She's like, hey, you missed one. I think you'd be really good for her. And I was like, oh, my bad.
Amazing.
And I did not think that I was going to get that. I was like, I was in a bad mood already. And I was like, I don't know. I really don't know what I'm doing with my life, but I want to be in this Glitch thing. And I had no idea that it was anything to do with Dana until she texted me one day. It's like, hey, you're going to be in the, in me, John, and Zach's new show.
That's how you found out?
Yep.
Dana Terrace texted you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He just texted me that, and that was a good day because I also got the role that I did for Samsung in the same day.
Hell yeah.
My agent had like texted me like, hey, you got your commercial, and then Dana had texted like an hour later being like, hey, you're going to be in this. I was like,
it's a good day for an actor. Did you go
day.
Get yourself a drink?
Probably. If I do nothing, I go get myself a drink. So like, I probably had 3 that day.
Do you have I know some actors, I do this, where they will, if they have a good audition, they'll get themselves a treat. If they have a bad audition, they'll get themselves a treat. If they don't get the role, they get themselves a treat.
Yep.
If they do get the role, they get themselves a treat.
It's treat yourself. I treat myself no matter what. Okay?
Yeah. I think that's one of the only ways you can really survive in this industry. Is just like, no matter, like, it's one of the hardest things. Oh, yeah. One of the hardest jobs you can have. Sounds like you knew that very early on.
Oh, yeah. Any boost of serotonin I can get.
Yeah. Oh man, that's incredible. Okay, so you didn't audition for Andy.
I did,
and then you you didn't, and then you
didn't.
did, and then you ended up getting the role. Was there any sort of callback process, or how does that work in VO?
There was none for that one. I have done like a callback thing before for like other stuff.
Okay.
But with that one, nope. But I knew Dana had said that she had already like had me in mind for Andy beforehand, so I think the audition was one, a formal process, and two, like just want to hear.
Sure. Yeah. Because you kind of, I remember you telling me when you auditioned for Frankie, you did put kind of an affect on.
It was so bad, and it was like I heard Michaela's voice in my head. I'm like, I can't reach that. And I did something like, she was like really nerdy. She's like, oh my God, it's a Gwen Troid. I'm like, oh, no, that's not it.
Do you still have those recordings somewhere? Or?
I do. And Michaela, I think, auditioned for Andy. So I want to hear what her Andy sounds like. And we want to do a content thing where we just swap doing each other's
It could be really,
voices.
I mean, it could be
That'd
really
be fun.
funny. Yeah. Amazing. Because you and Michaela, you guys are friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's the best. I love Michaela.
Michaela's pretty awesome. Michaela will also be at MomoCon. So are there any upcoming projects that you're able to talk about that you're allowed to, or are there things maybe in the works that you can't talk about that are coming down the pipeline, or and it's just like, hey, keep an eye out for Zelda in stuff?
Yeah, keep an eye out for Zelda and stuff, especially this series called Knights of Guinevere.
Well, yeah, of course. We don't know when it's been greenlit, but we don't know when the next episodes are coming out.
I really don't know when that's coming out.
Yeah.
So
it's going to take a bit to animate, I would imagine. So
yeah, and that's really cool too. Like,
yeah, because it's the first 2D animation for Glitch.
Yeah, I was a little confused when I got the role. I was like, wait a minute, Glitch has done everything 3D. Is this 2D? And then there was that excitement of like, oh, it's Dana Terrace's show. It's Dana Terrace's show with freedom. Like, her, J-Bo, and Zach get creative freedom. Like, I'm sweating. I'm sweating for my girl, but
but that's so exciting. Like,
yeah, that's
how
true.
Cool to be a part of. And
I'm excited sweating.
Yeah, and I think folks are really loving it. Even just with just the pilot coming out and before it got greenlit, when we were at some cons, we got to see a lot of fan art about it, and people in Artist Alley had already created stuff.
Yeah.
And that's really exciting. So the reception has been really great. So that's awesome. Okay. So we'll just keep an eye on Zelda Khan Black to see what's coming out. So you said you were about to leave the industry. Are you back in now, or?
I guess I am. I'm vibing right now. I mean, like, I want this industry for me. Like, if it becomes full-time, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. I think what I want to protect more than anything is my passion versus the revenue for the industry.
Sure.
Because I mean, like, I'm in a very grateful position to be in, like, being with Glitch and being Andy. I just know that there are a lot of harsh realities with this industry where it's a constant struggle, it's a grind, it's, literally sitting in your booth speaking into the void. And I think what I want to do is just, now that I have this, I just want to protect my piece, and I also want to promote that aspect too, because there's a lot of stuff in the industry that, people do talk about, people don't talk about. So I think it's another reason why I do relate to Andy as well. Like, seeing that kind of burnt me out, like the realities and the grind and the hustle and, some of the stuff behind the scenes. I'm like, I don't know if I want this. So yeah.
So when you say protect your piece, you just want to enjoy doing the work.
Yeah.
And if money comes from that.
Yeah, then great. Yeah.
And beyond that, you're just happy to be.
Yeah, I'm just happy
in
to be
it for
here.
the game.
I'm just happy to be here. My full-time job's in marketing, like, and social media stuff. So, like, originally when I used to audition, I'd be like looking at the money first, and it was like, okay, that has to stop. Like, do I want the role? Am I going to enjoy the role? Do I really feel and relate with the character? And then if I don't do it.
There you go. Okay, amazing. So would that kind of be what you would say to people who might be in a similar position to you, who might be in a small town in upstate New York or somewhere else, who are like, gosh, maybe they hear your story about how you've ended up here, and it's like, hey, maybe this actually is an attainable goal, thanks to the success that you've achieved and are continuing to achieve. Is that kind of what you'd like them to remember?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it doesn't matter where you come from, especially now. I had a conversation with some people in CamiCon because it's Birmingham, Alabama, so it is a small town, and people were like coming up to me like, I have this show idea. I want to do voiceover. I want to do this too. And it's just like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm like, your location is never gonna derail you at all, you know? Like, keep doing it. Keep doing your craft, because if you have a booth, like, it doesn't matter if you live in LA. Do you get a leg up? Yes, you do. The reality is that you do, but it would never, you know, there are full-time voice actors that are in Canada, that are in Ohio, that are in all around the world. So your location should never deter you, and just stick to your passion, but don't let it consume you, because that was the one mistake that I kept making. My first voice acting coach, Kritzia Bajos, was like, you know, just don't make this your life. You know, have some other things too. And I'm like, this is my life. And then I burnt out. So
Sure. So what other things do you have other than Finnies?
I love Finnies.
We're not sponsored.
No, but we could be. Well, I picked up a Steam Deck.
Sure.
So
and you have to get back to Mass Effect 2 eventually.
Yeah. I'm learning a new language. I'm learning Catalan, Spanish, which Catalan is what they speak in Barcelona. So I'm trying to do different things, because I had a conversation with D. Bradley Baker, and it was like, well, what do you do to sustain your creativity, especially from somebody in a place, you know, you go from constantly hustling to everybody wants you and you're in demand. How do you, like, stay present without stretching yourself thin? And he's like, I do a lot. He's like, I do photography, and I think he does like bug photography, just like Halloween decorations and stuff. He's got a bunch of different websites, like all of his different passions. And he's like, it's that passion that I get to spread my creativity in other areas. So, you know, I like to do poetry. I want to start dabbling in photography just for the fun of it.
Sure.
I also think too, I saw this really cool perspective about like getting a camera. I never wanted to be one of those people that takes pictures, because I'm like, well, I feel like I'm not living in the moment. But getting a camera, honestly, somebody was like, it's helped me slow down and learn to capture moments in life. Not just like, oh my God, for my Instagram, but like, you know, like this is a beautiful sunset, or like, oh, this looks really cool. Let me slow down and just capture an image of it. So
yeah, slow down and enjoy, and actually maybe even be more present in the moment. Yeah. You're trying to remember it.
We hustle a lot here, you know, one in this industry and two in Los Angeles in particular. So yeah, just trying to build that, like, you know, you work to live, you don't live to work.
That's, exactly. For sure. And especially in a industry where so much of the work is your emotional and artistic capacity, and it's taken from that. Like, my acting teachers in high school, they would talk about like filling their cup, and then like their cup would be empty. Yep. And so they weren't able to like really do a play or anything because everything was empty. They'd given it all up. Yeah. And then they go away for summer break, you know, go watch other people in plays, see a new film, read a new book, do something like that, and then come back and their cup is full, and they're like, great, you know, because you can't pour from an empty cup. Right. So how do you? Awesome. Well, that's amazing. That was a really wonderful answer. Thank you, Zelda. Appreciate that. Well, this has been a really wonderful and insightful conversation with the amazing Zelda Khan Black and Andy Plush. Thank you so much for joining us today, Zelda.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate it. Is there anything you want to say before we take off?
No, thank you, Gung Ho Bookings.
Thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we will have more interviews in this interview series, so be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and come check us out more soon. We'll see you at MomoCon in May.
Nice. Yay, we did it.